Welcome along. This is a experiment on a new channel for a van full of shit. I'm going to be driving around in my van whilst I'm doing some work, talking about all the shit that's going on everywhere from time to time. And I want to talk about Milo Yiannopoulos, who's right wing, got a lot of strange ideas, stuff that doesn't really make sense, and he's in the limelight in a minute for, they're calling it sympathising with paedophiles, and I can quite honestly see where they're coming from. And a lot of people have made videos trying to say, oh no, he's alright, it's just Milo, you know, they worry about Milo. But that is a shit attitude to have. You can't have that fucking attitude when you're talking about men having sex with boys. That's just fucking wrong, man. What the fuck? Anyone that's supporting him on this needs to just fucking snap out of it right now. That's ridiculous. Now, I'm sure I can chop together a few things to make my point as to why he needs to be called out on this, and he needs to feel the backlash, to be honest. Now you have to excuse me whilst I do a bit more work. So yeah, basically he's come out on video saying that he was mainly behind the exposing of 3 paedophiles, which I'm guessing led to criminal convictions, and then he claimed to be one of the leading voices when Jimmy Savile died. And I mean, whatever, you know, might be true, might not be true. Regardless, he's there claiming that he's done so much in the fight against paedophilia that we should just, you know, let him have these few paedophiles on a boat, let him have the paedophile priest that made him suck his dick and all this shit. It is just absolutely fucking ridiculous. And people need to fucking call it out.
I've exposed 3 paedophiles in my career. One of them, Nicholas Nyberg, who was a anti-Gamergate activist who supported white nationalism and described himself as a pedophile. Another was Luke Bozier, a London entrepreneur, former business partner of Louise Mensch, who was caught asking for underage material online. And a third one, Chris Layden, is a London photographer who I exposed and who is about to start a rape trial as a result of my reporting. I have outed 3 pedophiles myself in my own reporting, which is 3 more than most of my critics. And by the way, I was one of the first people to talk about Jimmy Savile. Jimmy Savile was a British entertainer, worked for the BBC. Everyone in media sort of knew that there was something not quite right about him. And when he died, I was maybe the first British journalist to ask whether some of the scandals were going to come out now, whether people were going to start being honest about what Jimmy Savile was up to. I was one of the first.
So here we go.
Do you think I make a good priest? I think I make a good priest.
Well, you make a good priest if you think the guy that made you suck his dick was a good priest. That kind of good priest.
He was a great priest. Honestly.
Okay, so this part that we're watching is where Milo is talking about, I think his name is Father Michael, and he was a priest in his mid-20s who had sexual relationship with Milo when Milo was in his early teens. He doesn't really want to say exactly like how old he was, but listen to this.
See, like he was the
he was good other than that?
I've never had a better singing tutor. He was great.
Singing teacher.
He got notes out of me I didn't even know I could produce.
Well, he worked your plumbing.
Shattering the chandeliers, kind of.
But was he good outside of what he did? Like, was he a good religious scholar? Was he a good teacher?
I think he was just a parish priest. I mean, I
just
really
a fucking creep getting his dick sucked then.
Yeah, he's gonna get lynched now.
How's he gonna get lynched? Do people know who he is?
I don't think so.
What's his name?
Well, I'm not saying anymore.
Well, how old were you at the time?
Just
you were a little kid, and he was like what?
You're trying to.
Was he in his 20s or 30s?
Yet another feminist strategy that you have adopted.
And by the way, I do apologize with like the words that are popping up. I rip this from somebody else's video as like this is the most damning thing on Milo, blah 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 blah.
In addition to your language
What?
policing,
Trying to out pedophiles?
No, trying to go on this.
You were the one who was
this witch
anti-pedophile
hunt.
earlier.
I told you it wasn't the pedophilia. I was
Well,
after I'd lost my
certainly is.
virginity.
It was pedophilia, Milo. It was.
I was in my
old were you?
teens. I was in my teens.
14.
I was in my teens.
You said
Something
you were
like
14.
that.
That's what you
I was
said.
in my-
14
I
is
was in my
pedophilia, buddy.
teens.
I don't know how they rock it in
I was
merry
in-
old England.
I was.
Basically, they're going to start talking about parties, and this is where things are a problem.
No.
That's a guy.
You know,
who
I
needs-
lived in Hollywood a while ago.
Did you?
Briefly. And
Did you go to one of his parties?
I went to other people who I won't name of a similar stature in Hollywood. I went to their boat parties and to their house parties and things, and some of the things I have seen have beggared belief.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Can you give us like a...
Well, just I don't want to be indiscreet about specific people.
Right, you don't have
because
to
I
do
think
that.
it's going
Just
to
dance
be,
around the facts.
Yeah, dangerous. But I can tell you the truth without. Dropping anyone in it.
Okay.
I mean, some of the boys there were very young. Very young.
And this is really recently?
I don't remember. No, like, I don't know, 8 years ago. I don't remember.
Statute of limitations.
I don't remember whether I ever met Bryan Singer or whether I even knew who he was then. But I knew other people of similar stature, as I say, and there were some very young boys around at that time. There was a lot of drugs and a lot of
Twinks.
A lot of twinks taking drugs and having unsafe sex with older men, and some of these boys were very young.
It's soul shattering. And I'm not going to condemn Milo for being at those parties because he might have been at that party and then saw it and left. We don't know. He doesn't go into it. He doesn't state as such. He doesn't state the otherwise. And that's what that is. You know, that's what that is. But the problem is that it did happen. And Milo... Yeah, I'll be charitable and say, you know, like, there's no evidence that Milo had anything to do with it, but he was there, and he saw it, and he bore witness to it. And there is such a thing as mandatory reporting. You have to report if you see something, especially the victimization of a child. Otherwise, you can go to jail. You can get in serious, serious fucking trouble if you are aware that this is happening and you do not report it. So it makes you have to then question... Milo, not just Milo, but anybody who was there and was aware of what was happening is then an accessory to the predation of children. And that's a problem. That's a really big problem. And it makes you wonder, is having your connections and your powerful friends more important to you than the safety of a child? So for that, I don't think... There's not much of a defense for that. Not really. I'm racking my brain. I'm trying to think of some way, some objective way that, you know, there's some way to defend against it, but there's not. There's just not. You know, I'm incredibly uncomfortable and disappointed with that.
So another bone of contention that I got as well is Sargon of Akkad, who I'm a fan of. I'm a fan of Milo. You know, I'm a fan of Milo and Sargon. I really think they make some amazing points, and they bring things to light that I hadn't considered and reinforce my beliefs, which is what you want from personalities. And you just gotta take a look at this situation for what it is. Yeah, he said that shit on Joe Rogan and fucking Amazing Atheists or whatever it was, Drunken Peasants podcast, and it's still relevant. You can't say that shit and be like, oh well, I said it 10 years ago, so I guess it don't really matter anymore. Those people that were sexually offended are now old enough for the age of consent, so who gives a fuck? No, that's not the case at all. I think it's what really needs to come from this is for people to give Milo the ultimatum of either you admit you're lying about the paedophiles on the boat, and you admit you're lying about the priest, or you name them. Because I don't give a fuck if you enjoyed it and he explained to you all your fucking gayness to you. There's plenty of people that it won't happen to, and it will be mortified with what's happening to them. So you need to fucking stand up for those people and come clean, or admit you're a fucking liar.
I'm not going to try and explain how this has been taken out of context. There's no point. Let's just assume it is exactly as bad as he says, as everyone says, not him, obviously. But let's assume that he is just pro-paedophilia. Let's just slow down and take a think, and just have a think about what exactly we are doing here. Milo Yiannopoulos, whatever you think of him, is the victim of a child molester. When he was something like 13 years old, he was molested by a Catholic priest. Now, I don't want to say things that I don't know, but it seems like this is a key factor in Milo's sexuality, and I think that this obviously will have been a really major impact. This will have had a major impact on, I don't know how to say it exactly, on his frame of reference for this. You don't sit there and go, oh yeah, I'm going to show how virtuous I am. This is why I'm calling you a virtue signaler, Spino, because you fucking are. I don't need to show that I'm against paedophilia, and I don't need to do any of these things, and if you think I do, then you can just unfollow me. I don't need you supporting me. I don't need any of this. And what's worse is that this is now, all of our Twitter feeds is just spammed up with this stupid argument about a damaged human being and their damaged interpretation, brought about as a political attack by his opponents based on fucking something that happened months and months ago, that, to be fair, is probably been taken out of context, and he has already come out with a statement categorically denying it, saying that no, this was misrepresenting me, I don't believe that, and even if he did believe that, I think he should have the luxury of changing his opinion.